So before I start, do you want me to go over any specific questions? The vertex? Okay. Okay, so usually in the final exam, they ask for vertex. Vertex of quadratic. Come on. Usually. And sometimes they ask for x and y intercept. And then they give a graph and ask you to find domain range of the parabola. Okay, so to find vertex is the point, so we need both x and y value. Or x value. Who knows the formula for the vertex of the x value? X value of the vertex? Negative b over 2a. So you substitute b, which is 18, divided by 2 times. A is 3, negative 3. So you get negative 18 over negative 6. Negative cancel out. We get 3. One second. Oh. Hmm. So this is the x value of the vertex. Once you find the x value, now also you need the y value. How do you find the y value? Not can you, we must plug in. So we get negative 3 times 3 squared plus 18 times 3. So negative 3 squared is 9. 9 times negative 3 is negative 27. And 18 times 3 is 54. So basically you have 54 and you're subtracting 27. So 4 becomes 14 and 5 becomes 4. So we get 14 minus 7 is 7 and 4 minus 2 is 2. In the exam, I seen a couple of heroes is 17 or 37. It's neither 17 nor 37. It's 27. And it's positive 27 because our 54 is big and it has a plus sign. So this is 327 is the vertex. Now the x value tells you axis of symmetry. X equals 3. And then we find the x-intercept. To find the x-intercept, we don't want to see y. So this is our y. We set it equals to 0. And we get negative 3x squared plus 18x. And then even though just before the exam in the review day, I said for 2 terms, you have only 2 choices. Either you can pull out a GCF for 2 terms, 1 term, 2 terms. Either you can pull out a GCF or maybe it's a difference of perfect squares. There are only 2 choices. You cannot factor binomially. You cannot factor this way. It's not possible. I mean, it is possible for perfect square, but for GCF, we cannot do binomial. Despite I telling you that most of you try to do it this way and then you got it wrong. It's not It's not possible if you don't have a perfect squares. So here our hope is DCF. They both have X for the variable, and we have -3 because 18 is divisible by -3. So you have to pull out a -3x. So this is a DCF example. And then when you factor out -3x, what is left? X minus 6. So it's one binomial, one monomial. It's not two binomials. And then you set each factor equals to 0. And then solve for x. -3 times what gives you 0? Is 0. And x equals 6. Oh, other tipsy. So thank you. So if they ask for the point format, I'll do it at 0 as a point format for x-intercepts. 0, 0, and 6, 0. So these goes here, 0, 0, and 6, 0. Not always. If you have a quadratic that is lying like this, then you have only one x-intercept. So lastly, we find the y-intercept. For y-intercept, we want to see x. So we set each x to be 0. So basically we have 0 plus 0, which is 0. So the point format is 0, 0. So this is 0, 0. And then some of you did something surprisingly weird. You saw 0, 0 twice. So you erased this 0, 0, and you said, oh, we have only one x-intercept, 6, 0. Even though you drew the graph correctly, but you said there is only one x-intercept. And guess what? I took off 1 point for that. Because just because you see same thing twice, it doesn't mean you can omit one of them. 0, 0 is both x and also y-intercept, and it's possible to have this one number for both of them. So you cannot erase anything, so do not erase anything. Yep, no. So look, your x-intercepts, one of them is 0, one of them is 6, and your vertex is 3, and let's say this is 27. So how can you draw a parabola by connecting all 3 points, upward or upside down? So you must have an upside down. Plus, you can verify that by looking at the function. Here in negative x squared means it's an upside down parabola. So we have a maximum. It just need x-intercept, y-intercept, and vertex. Do you want me to go over any other question from here? Then graph what? Oh, exponential. There will be one question from exponential or logarithmic. Definitely one.
Who they ask for that?
Either they'll give you a bunch of equations and then they'll tell you which graph. No, they'll tell you the graph, or they'll give you a bunch of graphs and then they'll tell you what's the equation. Or actually, they usually don't ask for you to graph itself. They'll have multiple choice. But still, you need to know all the tricks.
I was about to say, since you said that you cannot just like guess, so like that.
Exactly.
You have
So
to graph it in.
first, you must do your original graph. And then you have to show your work for your X or Y intercepts. Like, how do you know this is the correct graph? You have to show your work. So you definitely have to draw your original graph. Alex, you definitely have to draw the original one and then show your work. And how do you come up with that? For in-class exam, I didn't look at that because I did most of it failed. I saw most of you failed the exam, so I didn't punish you for not showing your work. But in the final exam, you must show your work. So since we're talking about work, so let's do this one first. We have a bunch of solutions and then graph. You have to match which equations matches with the graph. So by looking at A, you see we have only exponential and log. So which one? And they don't have any reflection. So none of them have negative sign in the front or in front of x on the top on the coefficient on the power. So there is no reflection. It's the original graph, either moving left, right, or up, down. So this shape for A, is it a logarithmic shape or is it an exponential shape? Log. So you have to draw the original log here. Oh, I should change color. The original log. And then compare the original log with the graph given. Which direction you want? You want to left. So that's all you have to show. You're going to left. Now going left from the original graph. So original graph is log of x, and you're going left 2 units. So left means is it inside the parentheses or outside the parentheses? Inside. Now left means plus or minus? Plus 2. So remember, plus minus, the left right is opposite. So left should be on the minus, but actually it's not. It gets a plus sign. So our choice is D. So you circle D for this choice. And B, whatever. So that's the latest draw. Draw the original one and show you what. Like this x-intercept went here. How? By going to left. And the next one, what type of shape is the next one? So you have to draw the original exponential. And original exponential goes to the y value 1. So make sure you show your y value 1. I seen example like this. And then 1 is here. This is not the original graph. So if you drew this one, I didn't give you credit. Because original graph must have to go through the y value 1. That's the original. So if you compare this y-intercept with this y-intercept, which direction you want? From the original one. You are going down to. So we see only e, so we have e to the x. Now down to, is it on the power or it's a single number? Single number. Is it +2 or -2? -2. So you look at all these choices and which one makes sense?
What does it mean when there's a coefficient in front of the e, like we had on the graph?
It just get bigger, wider, or shrinker.
So a whole number means it's getting wider.
No, whole number means it's getting shrinker.
Fraction.
Getting, yeah. But you'll not see any coefficient. In this class, I didn't see any coefficient.
Oh,
E,
for the graph.
E have Daniel. You should learn what is coefficient and what is base. I didn't give you any coefficient. I gave you a base. So you have a base for in your question number 5, and you have a base E in the question we just did. So these are coefficient, okay? This base. So this is same as e to the x. E to the x, 4 to the x, any base to the x, whatever you have on the base is a base. Okay. So you don't have to worry about the numbers now in this class. They don't do anything. All you have to know is a number to the power variable x is exponential. That's the important thing for you guys. So this one, we have exponential. So step 1 is drawing an exponential graph, which goes through the y value 1. Now this exponential graph has a negative sign in the front, means it's a reflection about x-axis. And you should always do reflection first. If you have any type of transformation, reflection always should be the first one. So if you reflect positive 1 over the x-axis, what number it becomes after the reflection? Negative 1. So that's your reflection of the y-intercept. Now that reflection, you're moving which direction? Right 3 and down 2. So right 1, right 2, right 3, down 1, down 2 here. And now let's decide our wall, which wall our graph cannot cross. So I already gave you the hint. It's a horizontal asymptote. It's a horizontal line. Every horizontal line has what type of equation? X equals something or y equals something? Y equals something. So we have y equals. So which of these is a y transformation? -2. Whatever we have with the x, that's the x transformation. Whatever we have single, that's a y transformation. So since you asymptote horizontal, so you have to have a number that is y transformation. So y equals -2 is the line that you cannot cross. So this is y equals -1, -2. So your wall is here. Y equals -2. Since you cannot cross this graph and you're reflecting the original graph, so the reflection should be this way. The original is increasing, so its reflection must be going downward. So if this is original one, this should be the reflected one. So this is 4 to the x, this is -4 to the x. So you're drawing this shape after you move your y-intercept to the new position and then draw this reflection. And that's why you need your wall, because otherwise you may cross a wall, but you're not allowed to cross the wall. Shahana, you look confused. No? Okay. So the next one is a log graph. So you're going to draw the log on. So I see many people did this. If you did this, it means the log graph is increasing really fast. But in reality, no, it doesn't happen. Log is a very lazy machine, very lazy function. So it increases very slowly. So it's here to go slowly, as close to the x-axis as possible. It increases very slowly, not fast enough. And then you guys are trying to be over smart. You thought, well, since our exponential is a reflection about x-axis, so it goes here. That means when you reflect your log graph, it should be here. Of course, it's not true. Your mirror did not change. Your mirror is still your x-axis because you still have a negative in front of the function. Negative in front of the function means reflected about the x-axis. So if you try to reflect your graph about the x-axis, what happens is this. This portion of the graph goes below the x-axis, and this portion of the graph goes above the x-axis. That's how you reflect about x-axis. The top goes on the bottom goes on the top. So original graph has a top here. Reflection must be down there. The original graph has a part down here. So its reflection will go up there. So that's how you reflect about x-axis. It doesn't reflect about y-axis. You'll have a y reflection if you have a negative sign here. But it did not have a negative sign here. And then you take your x-intercept. So which direction you're going? Left. And then down 3. So left 1, left 2, down 1, down 2, down 3 here. And now let's decide the wall because you cannot cross it. So see, I already gave you the hint. It's a vertical asymptote. So what type of line is a vertical line? Or what's the equation for a vertical line? X equals a number. So for x equals, this is what we have. So you said x plus 2, 0. That gives us x is -2. So asymptote is x equals -2. So this is -1. This is -2. So you draw a line here. X equals -2. So this is the wall you cannot cross. So now this reflection, let's draw here. Same reflection. So this is reflection. This reflection, you are moving 1 left, 2 left, 1 down, 2 down, 3 down, and then it just shifted there. So most people actually got this wrong. Any other question you want me to go over? One in the calculator. Oh, or so. Oh, I would do this. So it says you're throwing a ball upward from some height, and then it wants you to know when the ball will reach this height. So in this equation, this thing is the y, which represents the height of the ball. That's why it's h of t. It's height of the ball at any time t. So height is -16t squared plus 110t plus 190. Now they are saying when your ball will reach a height of 160 feet. So what is this 160? Is it t or the height? Which one? This 160, what number is it in our equation? It is t or the height? The height. So you replace this height with 160. So 160 equals -16t squared plus 110t plus 190. So you subtract 160 and you get 0 equals -16t squared plus 110t plus 30. And now these numbers are too big, so if you try to factor, you may bump into problem. So since you allowed this calculator, why not use a calculator? By using the quadratic formula. Negative b square root of b square minus 4ac whole thing divided by 2a. So we get x equals, what is our a here? B and C. Hardy, you are solving this equation. Did you ask me for at what time? Means what is t? Oh, for x, this is our t. Because in our equation, there is no x. So t is x value. So negative 16 plus minus 110. Negative 110. And then 110 square. 4 times negative 16 times 30. That's why you're allowed to use calculator. Divided by 2 times negative 16. So you get negative 110 plus something over negative 32, or negative 110 minus something over negative 32. So you go to the calculator and find out what the number is inside. I forgot the number. George, do you have the number inside? Inside. Okay, then never mind. You have after the square root, right? So what number you have?
I decided this square root was 14,020.
Tell me the number. Square root of
14,020. 14020.
See, my brain doesn't work when you give me a big number. You have to tell me the number itself, like 14020, then I understand. Okay, 14020. So you do the math. Oh, one of them is plus, one of them is minus. What's wrong with me today? Because here's what plus minus means. One is plus, one is minus. So here you get a minus over minus. And here you get a minus. This one is bigger, right? When you use a calculator. Come on, guys, didn't you do it in your exam? If you have the number, just tell me.
The right number was like 7.137, so 7.14.
At the end, right?
Yeah, and yeah.
So you have, this is plus over minus, and this is minus over minus. So whatever number you have, whatever you have. So this one, it cannot accept because plus over minus is a minus, but time cannot be minus. So the correct answer is double negative with the negative in the denominator. So you get 7.14, right? 7.14 seconds. Danielle on my phone. Today is our last day. Okay, last day of class. So concentrate on this. You're not going to see me from next week. And probably forever. Who knows? Yeah, but I'm not going to teach you. So today is the last teaching. Today is my last knowledge delivering to you guys. Okay. So accept my knowledge. Any other question you want me to go over from the exam 3? Okay, then let me tell you what will be in the final exam. So first of all, location. Our location is not here. It will be in different classroom. So our final exam is next week, Tuesday. which is 12:16, and it will be 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. Very early. Also, bad news, if you are 20 minutes late, you cannot take the final. You go to the med department and then talk to them. If you're 20 minutes late, don't even bother going to the classroom. Go to the med department and they'll tell you what to do. I'll try to be here 10-15 minutes early. And then if I get here even earlier, then I'll do a review. Like if I come around 7:30, if then I'll do 10-15 minutes review, and then I'll give you the exam. So after the exam, you cannot have any extra time because they have another exam. So maybe I can start a little early. So now comes the room number. It's not in here, it's on the 11th floor, 155. I think it's a big lecture hall. Or probably it's just a lecture hall, not big. So I have 2 sections. So I have almost like 50 students. Okay. Actually around 60 students, not 50. Around 60 students will be in big hall. And it will be 11th floor, 155, from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. Now about the format of the final exam, it has 30 questions, 2 parts. From 8 to 9:30, part 1, which is non-calculator. And then 8 to 9:30, you're going to get your second part with the calculator. If you're done early before 9:30, then you still cannot get the exam.
Okay.
You cannot. You have to wait till 9:30 so that everyone gets the exam.
Second part.
In the first part, there are 22. In the second part, there are 8 questions. In these 8 questions, 2 non-multiple choice, and what is 8 minus 2? 6. 6 multiple choice. Alex, question?
No.
No.
That would have been
And then in 22, you have 4 non-multiple choice. And what is 22 minus 4? 18. 18 multiple choice. However, the multiple choice doesn't count if you just guess it and choose something without showing correct work. And I keep telling you, correct work, okay? If you show any work which is wrong and then suddenly pick the correct choice, it's still wrong. You have to show correct work and then pick the correct multiple choice. Exactly. What actually many people do, they substitute the answer into the equation and then say, well, this is the answer. And I went to the department when I seen it for the first time. I was like, they didn't show any work. They checked their work. And they said, well, they didn't follow the direction. It says, do the math, like solve it. But he didn't solve it, just checked it. So there is no point. So that's what I'm telling you guys. Do not expect to get a good grade if you don't follow the direction.
second part. Really, late.
You can leave early, but you cannot get the first part early.
No, I'm talking about the second.
Even though it's only 8 questions, but don't think they're too easy. Okay. So you should take your time, recheck everything. You have 2 hours. It feels like you have 2 hours, but trust me, people always run out of time. Like there are 30 questions to do in 2 hours. There are so many questions. So use your time wisely.
The second part is with your calculator, I think that's just like 8 questions. Doesn't mean that it's gonna be very similar to the calculator part, like which we did. Okay.
So even though it's calculator portion, it doesn't mean you just punch the calculator and do nothing and give me the answer. No.
For calculator, show the work like the way I just showed in calculator part we just did. Oh, this one. See, show the work, and calculator is only for the last part. So you cannot give me the answer. I said, oh, I use calculator. No, it's not acceptable. So what?
Question for 3.5 points, even though non-multiple choice, everything.
So in that sense, you actually have 5 extra points. Even though you have 5 extra points, but the maximum number is 100. So if you get 29 questions correct, you get 100. You didn't have to bother the 30 questions. Actually, they do. It's a surprising thing they do. Many students can get 100% in the final. And I actually, Danielle, I'm going to take you on. I just told you today the last day. So concentrate. What I was talking about? Oh, few students, they didn't do well in the in-class exams, but they realized that final exam is the last hope. So they studied crazy and they actually got 100% in the final. And they showed all the work. And they didn't cheat because I had my eyes on them. You know, there are a few students in every class. You can always tell whether you have to keep an eye on them or not. So I do that for suspicious students. And no, I trust you actually. There are many students like trust automatically comes like by having the conversation or by looking at their seriousness or they are trying. I can tell whether they will use a cheating method or they'll just use their brain. Some students are actually very honest, even though they don't know anything, they still don't cheat because they don't want to ruin their reputation. So they just try their brain with their brain. And I feel happy for them. So I try to help them. As long as you try, you know, even though you don't get good grade, but at least you have a good reputation. And that is a big thing. Okay? Because you never know. Maybe in future you need my recommendation. So if you have a good reputation, but bad grades, I will be willing to willing to write a recommendation letter for you. Yeah. Reputation is actually very good, a very important thing. And if you ruin your reputation once by cheating, it doesn't matter how hard you try the rest of the semester, that the reputation you already ruined, it never goes up. Like I try to forgive them, but there is no way I can forgive them from my heart. Huh? Ask me how many I have seen cheating. Not have you seen cheating? Like,
Or no?
yeah. Like whoever cheats, they cheat, even if they go to hell or heaven, like they will cheat. Like cheating is just a bad habit. So yeah, be very careful. And in the final exam, I will proctor it, but people from the department, they will come and then they will, most of the time they check whether you have an iPhone, Apple Watch or headphone, the earphone plug-in. And then whether you have something on your desk or near your desk. Like sometimes they come and check. And sometimes they just come and they look at you and they just leave. But whoever is picky, they actually go one by one to check the Apple Watch. I will not, because otherwise you'll just look at my solution and you're not studying. But all the solutions are recording. So if you need anything, just go to the recording and that part. So what I was trying to do. So with my morning class, this is the review sheet 1, 2, 3 combination. Okay. I didn't make any extra review sheet.
You've done that with your morning class, so it's
So with my morning class, I went to 3.6, 8.12, and then 10.2, multiplication, solving radical, multiplying i's, dividing i's, simplifying i's, And then in our last class with you guys, I went over 11, chapter 11. I did all of these. This. And then yesterday with my, yesterday I went over exam 3, entire exam 3. So today I have left to with these with you guys, which is basically chapter exam 3 materials. Okay. Oh, in exam 3, I didn't give you these questions, right? Yeah, why I didn't do that?
Yeah.
Yeah, probably I forgot. I had a 1-page blank. So I was wondering, like, why my page is blank? Because I forgot to put chapter 13. See, now I remember. So chapter 13, there will be one question from chapter 13. Not one, actually. There will be 2 questions. One is, I give this question, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I gave about circle.
Oh, yeah.
Circle, tangent line.
Oh, yeah.
So from chapter 13, you have 3 questions. Circle, tangent line, and solving system of equations. So tangent line is easy if you can remember 2 things. If you just tell me these 2 things, you don't have to show any work. Okay. Now, first thing is slope of the tangent line. If you can remember, the slope of the tangent line is negative x over y. They didn't have to show any work. Okay. And then what's the y-intercept for the tangent line? The y-intercept of the tangent line is r squared over y. So if you can remember these 2, your life is easy. You don't have to show any work. But you have to tell me these 2 formulas that you know them.
For example, on the test, right? Put the 530 to 25.
So what is your r squared?
5.
Mm-hmm.
Then the point is -3 times -4.
Mm-hmm. So it was in first part, right? Okay. So slope of the tangent line is negative x over y. So we have negative, our x is this, y is that. So we have -3 over -4. Negative cancel out. So we have -3 over 4. It's only for circle. Right, only for 0, 0. And usually they give 0, 0, the vertex. So these are conditional, okay? Not for everything. There are 2 conditions. One condition, it has to be a circle. For circle, the equation of the tangent line, the slope of the tangent line is this. If you take next level class, what's the next level class? Pre-calc. If you take pre-calc, you're going to work with tangent line again. But this tangent line is different than this tangent line. It's the tangent line of your graph at any point. So it's the derivative. So it's totally different than this tangent line. So the information I'm giving you is only for circle tangent line. It will not going to work in your pre-calc, okay? So don't memorize it for entire life. It's only for circle. And another condition is that your circle has to have the center at 0, 0. For example, this one, it has center 0, 0. So only when your center is at 0, 0, and you have a circle, then this information is true. Otherwise, don't try to use it outside of the classroom. Now, the y-intercept of the tangent line, which is the b, this b is your r squared over y. So this is our r squared. So 25 and our y is -4. So equation of the tangent line is y equals mx plus b. So all you have to do is put your m -3, 4 and put your b -25, 4. That's it. But if you show the details work, please, if you don't remember this, show the details work. First, find the slope of the radius, and that will tell you what's the slope of the tangent line. They are perpendicular of one another. So their slope will be negative reciprocal. And then substitute the slope x and y into y minus y1, slope times x minus x1. So if you don't know this, or if you don't like this, no problem. Show the details I showed you in class. But if you do remember this, your life will be easier. But you have to show me this, okay? Tell me this information. Without telling me this information, if you just give me suddenly the answer by doing everything in your head, what point you're going to get? 0. So I'm warning you, okay? So let's start with this one. Solving system of equations. All of these are finalism questions. So you may see this type of final questions. Or maybe something like on the homework, which you weren't to in our class. But homework questions are much more harder than the actual final. So from here, let's go over this one because this was most recent final question. We have x squared minus y equals 3 and 2x squared plus y equals 9. When you add these two, the y's cancel out. So you're using elimination method. We're eliminating one variable. So you get 1 plus 2, 3x squared equals 12. And now you just have to solve for x. So what do you do? Divided by 3. We get x squared is 4. We take the square root plus minus 2. So do not forget about your plus minus. One dangerous part about multiple choice is that you're going to see wrong answers and right answers. And if you forget about your plus minus, the answer you get for only plus solution, you're going to see that in your options. And if you pick that, it's wrong. So try to be careful, okay? So for each x, we need to find the individual y. So let me use this one. We have x squared minus y equals 3. So we can subtract 3 and add y. So add 3, add y. We subtract 3, add y. So that cancel out. We get y equals x squared minus 3. This is minus. Our first x is 2. So we get y equals 2 squared minus 3, which is 4 minus 3, which is 1. Now for next one, our y is negative 2 squared minus 3, but negative 2 squared is also 4. So you get 4 minus 3, also 1. So our solution is negative 2, 1, and positive 2, 1. 2 solutions. In the multiple choice, you'll see also one of them. Like maybe your option 1 is negative 2, 1. Your option 2 is positive 2, 1. Your option 3 will be negative 2, 1, positive 2, 1. And then you may see more options. 2, negative 1, and then negative 2, negative 1. So they'll give you all sort of choices. Or maybe this one, they will trick you. 2, positive 1. Okay, so these two are very close. First of all, you may make mistake by choosing this one. Because if you forgot your plus minus, this is wrong. And then even though you did your plus minus, maybe you forgot that your 2, one of them is positive, one of them is negative, and your 1 is both positive. The trick they are doing here is they're having the same 2, they're changing the y values. So you may not notice that, and you may pick This one is the correct choice. Because you're in a hurry, right? You didn't read the entire thing, you just saw something and circle. So if you did all of these but circle the wrong one, you still get 0. That's you have to be careful, very careful. I will check the work, but they will check the Scantron. So you're going to mark on your paper, on your exam sheet, and also you're going to mark on the Scantron. Department checks the Scantron and I check the work. And then we match like how many multiple choice we get correct. And if you have a very good score in your exam, a very bad score in your Scantron, it's suspicious. I don't know what they do. I never seen this situation. Or it's vice versa. You have very good Scantron score, but your the actual exam is very bad. Definitely you cheated. Something is wrong. So that's why also pick your multiple choice on the exam paper and then on the Scantron. Don't just do the math and then go to the Scantron to check it. No, you must pick the correct one in your exam paper and then also in the Scantron. So basically, you're going to check your work twice. I mean, circle your work twice. So show work, circle, go to Scantron, circle. That's all you have to do. Okay, so this is one type. Let me do another type, this one. So let me erase all of this. So we have x squared plus y squared equals 41. X minus y equals 1. So in this question, we cannot use elimination because our power doesn't match. So we have to use substitution. It means you have to solve for one variable from one equation. So which variable is easier to solve, the first equation or the second equation? Second equation. So since our x is positive, let's keep our x and get to the y. So we get x equals y plus 1. Now, this x equals y plus 1, we are going to substitute for this x. That's why this is called substitution. We have x squared plus y squared equals 41. And this x, we just found it's y plus 1. So you rewrite your x as y plus 1. And then do you distribute the power? Well, so you get y plus 1, y plus 1. So you do this and you get y squared plus 2y plus 1. You bring down your next y squared equals 41. So you subtract 41 and you see there is a like term here. You get 2y squared plus 2y. And what is plus 1 minus 41? Minus 40. You must, to make your life easier. Because this is a quadratic, our highest degree is 2. So our goal is to see if it's factorable or not. Usually it is factorable. So once you divide by 2, we get y squared plus y. And what is half of 40? -20. Now, do you think it's factorable? Two numbers multiplied to -20 combined to +1. Five and 4. How about their signs? The bigger number has to get the middle sign. Our middle sign is positive, so 5 has to be positive. That means 4 has to be negative. That's how you decide actually sign. You first write down the numbers and then you look at the middle sign. The bigger number always gets the middle sign.
So we get y plus 5 equals 0, y minus 4, 0. So y is -5 and +4. Now we already know what is our x. So we go and write down x is y plus 1. Our first y is -5. So our x is -5 plus 1, which is -4. Our second y is 4. So we get x equals 4 plus 1, which is 5. So you write down the solution. Mm-hmm. 5, 4. Common mistake, people write y as x and x as y because you solved y first. And it's our habit, right? Whatever we get solved first, we put it first. So careful. There are multiple choices will be also tricky. They will give you choices -5, -4, 4, 5. Choice number A. Choice number B, -5, 4, and then -4, 5. Choice number C, -4, -5, and then 5, 4. See, all of these are very close to one another. So which one is correct? That's why you have to circle your work. I mean, pick the correct choice on the paper. Because if you did this on the paper and then you don't circle anything, how do I know which one you're going to circle from the choices? So work, circle on the paper, and then go to Scantron and then circle bubble. Fill in the bubble in the Scantron. So one of these questions, most likely. And then tangent line, we know how to do tangent line. For distance. Oh, let's do this question. It's easy. So equation is, so we have -12 over -5. They cancel out, so we have 12 over 5. So y equals 12 over 5x. And our y-intercept is r squared, which is 169, divided by y, which is -5. So -169 over 5. This is the equation. No, because you're not doing any big math. If the numbers are too big, not doable by hands, then it's using the calculator. Now for the distance, you have to memorize the formula correctly. It's square root of, you take the difference of that x's, x2 minus x1 square. You have to square so that the quantity you have inside is a positive number. And you have to add, and then you take the difference of the y's. So these squares and this plus, they are there to ensure that you have a positive number inside the radical. If you have a minus, then you may have a minus number. So that's why you cannot have a minus in between them. You have to have plus between them, but you have a minus here because you're taking the difference of the x's and difference of the y's. So x1, y1, x2, y2. We have 6 minus -4 square, and then we have -1 minus 7 square under the radical. Double negative turn into positive. So we have 6 plus 4, which is 10 square. And then we have -1 minus 7, -8 square. So we have 100 plus 64, which is 164.
Now, even if you see it in the calculator portion, they may have two choices. Either they will ask for decimal, then your life is easy. All you have to do is punch this in the calculator and get the decimal. Or your multiple choice you have will be reduced radical form. That means you cannot use calculator because you have to reduce your radical. So can we reduce 164? How can you divide? 4. So you have square root of 4. And if you divide 164 by 4, now you can use a calculator. 41. So you get 241. And probably this will be the multiple choice. If they want you to get the reduced form, then calculator, if you give them decimal, it's not going to work. It's a multiple choice question. You have to do reduced form of your radical. Circle. So most of the time they ask for center and radius. And sometimes they ask for domain and range, but most of the time it's just center and radius. So let's do this. We have x squared minus 2x plus y squared plus 6y equals 3. Our goal is to rewrite this x inside squared outside plus y inside squared outside. Oh, I need some space. Y inside squared outside equals 3. So what goes next to the x inside the parentheses? Minus 1. You divide the middle coefficient, including the sign. So you get minus 1. But you have to subtract the same thing with a square. So what is negative 1 square? 1. And then what goes next to the y inside the parentheses? 3. No. You always subtract the square. Because I'm doing shortcut. In the shortcut, you always have to subtract the quantity squared. So for y, we have half of 6, which is positive 3. So you're going to subtract 3 square, which is 9. So now we have extra minus 1 minus 9. You are going to add this to both sides so that on the left side, there is nothing extra. We have only x squared and y squared. So x minus 1 square plus y plus 3 square. And if we add all 3 things, what do you get? 13. Now for this question, they're not going to ask for domain and range because our radius is not a whole number. So what is our center here? Positive 1, negative 3. We have to take the opposite sign. So we have negative 1 inside, it will be positive 1. We have positive 3 inside, it will be negative 3. So it's opposite sign. And what is our radius? Square root of 13. Even though 13 is not a perfect square, but it doesn't matter. We know the radius is the square root of that number. So square root of 13. That's why they're not going to ask for domain or range, because we don't know what is square root of 13. So your radius square could be a perfect square number, but may not be a perfect square number. Like previous question, like here, 169 is a perfect square number. So if you take square root of 169, you get 13 as a whole number radius. But for this one, it's not possible.
Then solving logarithmic equation. So we have ln of 2x minus 3 equals 6. The other one is, let's do log of x equals 2.2. So what do we do? First of all, do we know how to solve logarithmic equation? Do we know how to solve logarithmic equation? We don't, because you're so dumb. We don't know how to use logarithmic equation. So what do we do? Good. So we go to the exponential function, convert this into exponential. So exponential conversion is like a cycle. The base gets that as a power. We set the argument equals to, we set that equals to the argument. Now the question is, do you see any base for ln? No, it's invisible. So what is our invisible base for ln? E. So E gets the power of 6, and we set it equals to 2x minus 3. Now, in the exam, what most people did is this. We have ln of 2x minus 3 equals 6. You applied E, so you know it's 2x minus 3. And then you had no idea what is this. Is it E times 6, E to the 6, E divided by 6? You had no idea, so you got stuck. That's why I did not want you to apply E to both sides. If you know it's E to the power, the right side, then it's fine. But if you have no idea, then don't do that. Just convert exponential log into exponential. So E to the 6 equals 2x minus 3. So it's E to the power 6, not E times 6, not E divided by 6, or not 6 divided by E. It's E to the power. So then we add 3 to both sides, so that cancel out. And then we divide it by 2, so 2 cancel out. And then you go to the calculator. Play with your calculator, guys. I seen many of you got your solution correct, but when you punch that in the calculator, you got something wrong. Why? Because you don't know how to use a calculator. Calculator is very sensitive. So if I use my computer calculator, first I'm going to put E, and then it needs the power. So this is my power. Power 6. And then enter, plus 3, enter, divided by 2, enter. We get 203.214. 203.214. It says round to the 10th place. Oh, another thing I noticed is that you guys don't know your places, which is surprising. If you have a decimal, the left of the decimal start with ones, 10, 100, 1,000. It's the left. But if you're working on the right side of the decimal doesn't have any ones, okay? It starts with 10. What many of you did, you thought the first place is 1, and then 10, and then that, and then you got the answer wrong. But I didn't punish you because you're already failing anyway. So in the final exam, it will be, they will not ask you for the entire solution, the entire number. They will ask you what digit you have on the 10th place. What digit you have in the 100th place or 1,000th place. So they'll specifically ask for your places. So if you don't know your places and you pick the wrong one, obviously it's wrong, it's 0. So that's why, remember, decimal after the decimal doesn't have any ones. It has 10th. So 10th, and then 100, and then 1,000. So this is asking for the 10th place. So how many places after the decimal?
one place. So this one you have to round. So you look at the next, you have next one. So you keep the 2. However, this one is asking for thousandth, means the 3rd place. So you have to look at the 4th place and then round the 3rd place. So here, the log. Does log have any base here? What base? 10. Even if you don't see a base, but still it is invisible base. So we do 10 to the power 2.2 equals x. So you go to the calculator and you write 10 to the power 2.2. So 10, and this is my power symbol, 2.2, 1584893. 1584893. 1584893. It's asking for 1000th place. So after 1000th place, we have 3, which is below 5. So it doesn't change. 158,489. So they may ask you, what digit you have in the 10th place? What digit you have in the 100th place? So that's how you solve logarithmic equations. Definitely one of these will be in the final. Change of base. So if you have log argument A and base B, and you are trying to find what is that, first you're going to do log A, and then you're going to divide B.
A divided by B, not log A divided by B.
Okay. That's why I actually always circle so that you can visualize. It's log of A, and then it's log of B. You know, sometimes we forget things, but we can remember the pictures. So I try to do pictures as much as possible so that when you close your eyes, at least you can visualize the picture. I'm actually a visual learner, so when I see things, I can remember clearly. Then if you tell me all the numbers, it's harder. For example, if you tell me 1,000, 5,009, 1,599, it takes a little bit time, like 1,599. But if you tell me the numbers, I can see the number clearly, easily, so I can write them down. So I have that problem. Okay, anyway, so here we have log 479 and we have log 5. So when you punch a calculator, sometimes some calculator can apply the log fast and the number, but some calculators requires to write the number fast and then the log. For example, in my calculator, if I put log, I have to clear this. If I start with log, it doesn't let me do anything else because we have to punch the number fast and then the log.
Okay.
So we have 479 log. And then for the physical calculator, you actually need to close your parentheses. Here, they close the parentheses automatically. But for your physical calculator, you need to close the parentheses and then divide it by 5 log. And then close your parentheses. And then hit enter. 3.83. And it says round to the 100. So 834. 3.834. This is our 100 place. So 3.83. Question, Shahana?
How many times when you're asking like no placement, in fact, this won't be a multiple choice question, right? Oh, it will. Okay.
So let me tell you round to 1,000 places first. And then what digit you have in the 100th place? Or what digit you have in the 10th place? Or what digit you have in the 1,000th place? Okay, then next comes solving logarithmic equation. So that was, previously it was log, but it was natural log or a single log. But now this type of equation, you have many logs. Oh, nice. In your exam, many of you got the equation correct, the solution correct, but did not get points. Guess why? Why? You did your work correct, you boxed your correct, you boxed your final answer and everything, but you got 0 despite doing everything. I'm talking about the bottom one, the one you crossed out. Is it question 8? 15. Like you have log and, okay, let's do that. Here, this one. Good job. I didn't mention you have to check, but that doesn't mean you shouldn't check. For every log and every radical, you must check your work. If you don't, you're wasting your time. So I feel bad actually to give you 0 in one sense. In other sense, I was feeling very happy. Yes, I'm giving you 0 despite you did everything. And I'm feeling happy because you're going to learn your mistake and you're not going to make the same mistake in the final exam. Okay? In the final exam, usually they give both or at least one of them from exponential or log. For exponential, you just have to solve it, no need to check. But for log or radical, you always have to check your work. So we start by singling out a log. We have many logs, we don't want them, so we pile them together. We make a single log base 2. How do you combine the 2 logs into one log? Multiply. So we have x plus 7 times x plus 5 equals 3. And then we don't know how to solve logarithmic equation. So what do? We convert 2 gets the power 3. We set it equals x plus 7, x plus 5. So we do FOIL. We get x squared plus 5x. And we get 7x plus 35 equals 8. Since we have so many x's, so we have to bring everything to one side because our goal is to see if it's factorable or not. So we're going to subtract 8 and we're going to combine these two. We get x squared plus 12x. And what is 35 minus 8? How much? 27. Now, is it factorable? 9 and 3. And what is their sign? Positive. So we set each one to be 0. And x is negative 9 and x is negative 3. See, both answer is negative, but that it doesn't mean you can just omit both of them or disregard both of them, thinking, oh, we cannot have negative. No. You have to check both of them. And when you check, you must check using the original log. You need the original log. You cannot use this one. Don't use that. If it doesn't have any problem. You're going to substitute where you have a problem. Shahana. Yes. So we have log base 2 x plus 7 and log base 2 x plus 5. Plus x equals negative 9. When x is negative 9, we have negative 9 plus 7 and negative 9 plus 5. What is negative 9 plus 7? Negative 2. So we don't have to bother checking the other one. When you see a negative log, it's automatically unacceptable. Log of negative doesn't exist, and log of 0 doesn't exist. That's why you have to check. Do we have a 0? Do we have a negative? If you do, you cannot accept the solution. Then we check x equals -3. We get -3 plus 7, and we get -3 plus 5. Here. -3 plus 7, what do you get? And -3 plus 5. 2. Both of them are positive, so we are happy. So it backs our only solution. So you need multiple choice. You're going to have all of them. You're going to have choice A, x equals -9. Choice B, x equals -3. Choice C, x equals -9, -3. Choice D, x equals +9, +3. See, all of these are there, but which one is correct? But what most of you did, you thought this is correct, and you got everything wrong.
This is like example.
So that's why, remember, there are two types in this class you must check: log and radical. Without checking if you pick the correct choice, if you pick the choice, then you are wrong. And if you try to use this and substitute and then tell me the correct one, you're going to get 0. You have to show your work because the direction says solve, not check. So if you don't follow the direction and just pick the correct choice by substitution, it's wrong. Now for exponential, let's just do this one. Sorry. We have log base 2x and log base 2x minus 3 and log base 2, 3. We have 3 logs. But anytime you have more than one log on one side, you must combine them first before you do anything else. So from here, we get log base 2. And how do you combine them? X times x minus 3 equals log base 2 of 3. And now just like exponential, when you see the same base on both sides, you can cancel them. Same thing here. When you see the same log base, you're allowed to cancel them. But the requirement is you have to have a single log on both sides. So we got x squared minus 3x here, and we have 3 here. So x squared minus 3x minus 3 equals 0. Is it factorable? Two numbers multiplied to 3 combined to 3? No. So most likely this is a calculator question. So you go to the calculator and put negative b plus minus square root of b squared minus 4ac over 2a. So negative 3 plus minus negative 3 squared minus 4 times 1 times negative 3 equals 2 times 1. We get positive 3 plus minus. This minus 4 and minus 3 turn into positive 12 divided by 2. So 3 plus minus 21 divided by 2. Now my question is, do you accept both plus and minus as your x? Exactly. So you have to check which one gives you plus and which one gives you minus. So let's say this was in the non-calculator part. Suppose to test your knowledge. So, do you know what is square root of 21? Definitely we don't, right? That means you have to guess. How can you figure out what is square root of 21? George. So 21 is between 16 and 25. Why are you picking 16 and 25? Why not 20 and 19 or 22? Because you're looking for perfect squares. So we want to know what is square root of 21. So we take the square root of everything. This is 4 and this is 5. So our square root of 21 is approximately what? 4 point something. 4 point anything, we don't know. We don't care. We want to know what's the whole number we have. So we have 3 minus 4 something divided by 2. And we have 3 plus 4 something divided by 2. Which one gives us the correct answer? The plus one, because this is 7 something over 2, and this is negative something over 2. We cannot have negative log. So correct choice is x equals 3 plus square root of 21 over 2. If it's in the calculator part, you just punch calculator and get the answer. But let's see, a calculator died. Okay, it happened to me before. In the critical moment, the calculator died. So, I mean, you're going to bring your calculator. So how can you ask someone?
No, not someone like you.
We don't have any calculator. No, we don't bring any calculators. Okay, so we did log. Now, expanding. There will be one question from expanding. Question?
For the answer, they put green plus square root of 1 over 2, not.
Not the minus. It's only the plus answer.
I mean, we don't have to show, or we can show it the 3 plus 4 on top, but the answer is.
So expanding log. There'll be one expanding log. Since in class I went over this, let me go over the question in the exam. Expanding. Oh, this is part 2. No, this is part 1. Oh, here, this one. So step 1, rewrite your inside with powers. So if you observe, we have 2 things under the radical. So you break them down. Under one radical, sorry. Under one radical, you have x cubed, and under another radical, you have y. So we get x to the 3/2 and y to the 1/2. So the numerator becomes x to the 3/2 and y to the 1/2. And then you expand your log based on how many elements you have. Most people got this wrong, surprisingly. So you have log x to the 3/2 plus log y to the 1/2. And then the common mistake, people thought only the first one is negative and the rest is positive, which is wrong. Everything you see on the denominator should be negative. So it's negative log of 3, negative log of z squared, and negative log of w. Everything on the denominator must be negative. And then every power comes down as a coefficient. So all of these comes down. Oh, this doesn't have anything. Comes down as a coefficient. So you got log of x, coefficient 3/2, plus log of y, but the coefficient 1/2. And then log of 3, and then 2 log of z, and then log of w. That is your final answer. Let's do just one more before you leave. For single log, it's the other way around. You bring the coefficient as a power. So every coefficient you see, there will be the power. And then based on the sign, some of them will go up, some of them will go bottom. So we have log. This one is plus, so we have x to the 5 on the top. The next one is minus, so y squared on the bottom. The next one is minus, so z to the 4 on the bottom. And then this one is plus, so w to the 1/3 on the top. Oh, and you put a parenthesis here. And then that's. It's fine. So most likely it's multiple choice. You're just going to see the multiple choice. Now, so basically I went over every questions from the review sheet. Well, actually, yeah, I went over the population and this, but let me tell you a little bit about your money problem. Anytime you have compounding, not continuously. So if you have compound continuously, only for continuous, your formula is A equals P e to the RT. Only for continuous. So if you don't see any continuous, it's A equals P1 plus R over M and then NT. Now, if they're asking you to solve for T, then you invite ln, okay? For T, you need to apply ln. Otherwise, for the rest, you don't need your ln. 2. And here, if they ask for T or R, then you have to invite ln. Otherwise, there is no ln question. So power, if you're solving anything from the power, you need ln. For the rest, it's just normal division, multiplication things. So read carefully what is given and what they're asking for. And also the percentage, the R. R is always 2 decimal to the left. So 0.035. So you don't use 3.5%. I seen a couple of you did that in class. You substituted the original one. No, the R needs to be converted into decimal, okay? And then remember, power needs ln, otherwise you don't need ln. And then population is same thing. They will give you the formula or you'll have the formula. Let me go over this question real quick. The exam question, which doesn't have any calculator part. What is the population? 11. So we have 3 times 5 to the T equals 375. Do not multiply because PEMDAS doesn't, whatever. PEMDAS forbid us to use multiplication before you parentheses and exponent. So first step is not multiplication. First step is get rid of the 3. So you divide by your coefficients. So you have 5 to the power T, and this is 125. Now, 125, since it's in the non-calculator part, so don't try to use ln because you get stuck. Instead, see if you can make this 125 in terms of 5. That is our goal, to cancel the base. So 125 is actually 5 cubed. So that we can cancel the 5, and then we have our solution. For non-calculator portion, if you invite ln, you get stuck. You can use ln, but you have to use your brain further. So don't waste your time on ln. Anytime you see something on the non-calculator part, that means you need to change your base, okay? And there will be one exponential question, either this way or the question like this one. So if you have two different base and you can convert one base into another base, your goal is to rewrite the bigger one in terms of the smaller one. The smaller one is 9, so rewrite the 81 is 9 squared, but keep your power same, so you can cancel the power and then you set the power equals to one another. But if you have totally different bases, then you need to apply ln. And also, let's see, have 81 to the x and then 27 to the 2. Now, they're totally different bases, but you cannot apply ln because it's not in the calculator part. So instead, what you can do, rewrite everything. You cannot use 9 because 27 is not 9 something square. You can only use something with a square. Sorry, something with a power. So 381 is 3 to the 4 and 27 is 3 cubed. So you use a different base with the power. Multiplication is not allowed here, only the power is allowed. And then you have x and then 2. So you cancel your bases and you multiply them. So 4x is 6 and then you solve. So depending on what is your base, you just do your next step. So we have 4 review videos, okay? 2 with you guys, 2 with my morning class. I recommend you to watch all the recording and go about the review sheets. The review sheet, I mean, I didn't post this one, the modified one, but this is the combination of all 4, all 3. So I'll try to post the combination one and then go about every questions. At least do as many as possible because all of these are final exam question. So basically, I gave you the final exam before the final exam. Okay? All you have to do is study and remember. And our final exam is next week, Tuesday, 11th floor, room number 155. Try to be there around 7:30. I'll try to be there around 7:30, but if I cannot, I'll definitely be there around 8:45, okay? So my plan is to do a little review before the exam. So I need extra time because I cannot give you time after that. So that's why I come early, okay?
Okay.
And if you're 20 minutes late, go to the math department. Don't come to take the exam. Good luck, study smart. And thank you for the good semester. Thank you for your hard work. Mm-hmm.
About one of those graphs for the log.
Mm-hmm.
How do you know if it's